After a few classes of parkour, you'll already start to notice that your entire world changes. You walk around with what we call parkour vision. The entire world just turns into your playground, and now you know how to do things and keep yourself safe, show it off to other people. Within the gym, we have a multitude of different surfaces. That's important because that's what the world is made out of.
Oh, hello.
The world isn't made out of squishy mats. It's made of concrete, wood, and steel, and we want to teach people how to be able to take these things and go outside and be safe.
You could break your leg just walking out your front door. I at least had fun doing it.
Roller derby is a full contact sport. Sled. I love the sport so much. It takes guts. It can be a bit of a challenge. If you stick with it, anyone can do it. The basics are you gotta be able to be stable and skate on quad skates. Then you have to be able to start learning how to hit, be able to be a team member, and be able to communicate, and also just be all unapologetically you.
Throwing fits, Kermit the Frog,
Spinsterella,
Purple Fury.
It just felt right for me to have purple in my name.
Come this way.
Typically, we choose our names, and it's normally sentimental in some way, or it relates to our family. But really, sky's the limit.
Killdeer, Sergeant Slice, Harleyson,
It's an opportunity for you to be as creative
Pig's Bosom, Tail Feather, Natural Disaster,
as you want, or you could have your teammates choose your name if you can't decide.
Sunflower.
It really plays to kind of your alter ego, your soul, of how you want to be represented in roller derby.
Bill Vukovich wins it.
Sam Hanks, A.J. Foyt,
Jenny Clark,
Graham Hill.
Bobby Unser has won at Indy.
Our dad was the most photographed person in Victory Lane.
Not a Foyt or an Unser, but a Mackenzie, Jack Mackenzie.
He was a constant for 30 years, so you can go back and look at all these pictures, and he's in all of them.
Mackenzie had every race fan's dream job, the caretaker of the famed Borg-Warner Trophy.
And to us, the trophy was just no big deal. It just sat in our living room.
Liz Fryer and her siblings grew up around the Borg-Warner.
As soon as it got to our house the month of May, the whole neighborhood would come over to see it again. It's kind of a little ritual.
Every year from 1953 until 1983, the trophy was placed in the custody of her father. It was a responsibility he took seriously.
One time there were tornado warnings, and he said to my mom, "Jenny, get the kids. I'm getting the trophy and my camera equipment." So the trophy always had priority.
Rock-A-Block is my clothing brand and apparel decoration service. So here we focus on a lot of black culture, things that are relevant to today's society, such as music, hip-hop, art, and we really thrive on telling stories. Our apparel and the t-shirts is just a canvas and just the media that we use to tell stories. I started in my basement when I lived up in Maryville. And in 2017, I launched rockablock.com, and I made all my t-shirts out of my basement. And it was really just a form of self-expression, just a way to prove that I still had it, that I had something to share with the world. And it wasn't just about the rat race or doing my 9-to-5 job. I really wanted to share something else.
We focus on 3 main pillars of health: plant-based healing, holistic wellness therapies like sound therapy, breath work, mindfulness meditation, and then movement like Chicago stepping and Pilates.
It's a particular form of swing. Go to work. Movement, mindfulness, and eating right has allowed me to do and continue to do what I'm doing right now. To see other people get it, and when they do get it, it's life transforming. It really is.
This used to be the back door where I would come in for work. I started in that room as a camera operator. Back then, the cameras were twice as tall as we are. Oh my gosh, so now you're telling me that it's all robotic?
Yeah, robots.
Wow. Man, it's a good thing I switched to radio. I'd be out of a job. This used to be the control room where my technical director, my switcher was. The producer was back here behind this little wall thing. And then this was all master control. I do have a picture of me sitting at master control, like the very first year I was here. I'm probably on one of these somewhere. Yeah. Oh, a little 1-inch tape. Oh, look. A little baby 1-inch tape. Look. This was the technology of the future right before I left, ladies and gentlemen. Is there still a break room down here?
Yeah, there is.
Oh, I gotta see that.
Okay, let's see.
We used to play euchre there. Oh, we were good. Great euchre players. Yes. We speed euchred, man. Oh, I know Brad, yeah. How are ya?
Did you feel like a trailblazer?
No, heck no. I didn't know what I was doing. I just came in and Dick Pratt goes, do you want a job? And I go, sure, I'll try it. And I did. And 6, 7 years later, Bob and Tom came a-calling. And I don't know, once again, I'm glad I chose radio because I didn't have a job.
The FDA regulations say frozen cherry pies must be at least 25% cherries. After weighing the fruit from these pies, the average was only 16 2/3%. The average number of cherries per pie, not the 100 you see on the package, but 5.
You're kidding. You gotta be kidding. I'm not kidding. 5 cherries.
The FDA told us they want to speak to McDonald's officials about their cherry pies.
It all started with the January Playboy interview, in which Martin had some uncomplimentary things to say about Terre Haute. He had the nerve to indicate that in Terre Haute, there was nothing to eat but fast food, there was no place to go, and there was nothing that you might want to buy. Indeed, that the city was the most nowhere place in the whole United States. Well, today, the citizens of Terre Haute rose up and in one breath said, "Excuse us." Today, at the invitation of Mayor William Brighton, Martin returned to Terre Haute to face the riled citizenry, promote sales of Playboys, and to plug his new movie, The Jerk, not necessarily in that order.
Is this Terre Haute? Yeah! This is Terre Haute? Pretty flat, I don't know.
Aaron Smith honorably served citizens of Indiana with Indiana State Police for 5 years and with Indiana Army National Guard for 12 years, careers he took to heart. Aaron was always willing to help those in need with a smile on his face. It has been an honor to have dispatched and to have known Trooper Aaron Smith. Aaron Smith was a loving husband, son, grandson, brother, and friend. Trooper Aaron Smith will be missed and forever remembered. 52-361 is 1042 for the final time.
No one shook up IndyCar at the start of 2018 quite like Robert Wickens. Winning pole in his first start.
You couldn't write that. I mean, just to get pole position, even to be in the Fast 6 as a rookie.
And at Indy, leading his first laps before finishing 9th, claiming the prestigious Rookie of the Year honor.
This whole rookie season's been a bit of a whirlwind adventure, but hopefully we're just getting started.
But then came a visit to the historic Pocono Raceway.
All I knew is that I passed Pagano. For some reason, that was like very vivid to me, that I passed Simon around the outside.
They also tried to... From there, it remains a blur.
Wickens, oh, they're going to make contact. Big contact, car in the air. It's Robert Wickens that spins. Ryan Hunter-Ray was just underneath him. James Hinchcliffe involved. We have a major mess here exiting turn number 2 at the Pocono Raceway.
A crash at some 200 miles an hour. The impact registering over 200 Gs. Through it all, Wickens is airlifted to a local hospital with a fractured spine, a neck fracture, and broken bones in his legs, hands, right forearm, and ribs. Today, he remains in a wheelchair. Can't help but think back to that day, and specifically a conversation he had with the safety team who tended to him immediately after the accident.
What I can't understand to this day was I was fully conscious when
talking to him.
When they got to me, and they actually said it threw them for a loop because I was so calm and collected. There was no stress in my voice. You know, he said that like people will kind of like white wall it and come to a stop, and their heart rate will be racing. They'll have so much stress, they'll have a hard time speaking. He's like, but it's like talking like how you and I are right now. And they thought that, you know, maybe this is that 1 in a million where like somehow he's fine. Because the first question they asked me if I was okay, and I said, yeah, I think so.
Hey, everybody.
Of course, he wasn't. At the hospital, he was placed in an induced coma for some 10 days with a couple of surgeries to stabilize his injury. But afterwards, one issue kept coming up.
I
I visited a legendary drag club in San Francisco in the late 70s, and I saw this company, which was a traveling drag troupe that performed throughout the U.S. in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, and early into the 70s when I saw them. And I was just so taken with the magnificent performances of these female impersonators, a company of 25 men and 1 woman. They really created these special illusions of men dressed as women and performing their own live vocals. We really wanted to take a stab at the drag art form with live vocals and sort of emulate what the Joe Box Review did.
They wouldn't let me have a newspaper. And my roommate got a newspaper. And eventually I said, "Can I see your newspaper for a minute?" And so he tossed it over to me, and there on the front page was a list of the people who'd been killed and injured. And I found, one by one, I found the family listed as having been killed. So that was how I found out.
Staten lost his parents, a grandmother, and his brother, David.
My brother and I were big ice show fans. So when my sister was born, David and I insisted that she be named Barbara Ann after Barbara Ann Scott, who was the Canadian champion. And so that's how she came to be named Barbara Ann. She was named after a figure skater.
Barbara Ann Staten also survived the blast, although she suffered severe burns. She lived with the scars from those burns until her death in 2006. But in 1983, 20 years after the explosion, Barbara Ann focused on the good memories of that night.
You have to remember that that's the last place our family went together, and we were there as a family and having a good time, enjoying ourselves. And I try to remember that because last time before the lights went out, everybody was talking, having a good time, laughing, having popcorn. So it was a good place. It was a good way to end that time of my life.
Staten's daughter, Jamie, says her mother kept the Coliseum tragedy mostly to herself.
She always tried to make Halloween very special for my brother and myself. So it wasn't a sad night in our house.
WZPL with Steve Stiles and Melody on.
It happened fast.
On the noon news, it was Stephen Miller getting married. And on the 5 o'clock news, it was Stephen Miller fired.
But why?
You never ask why in radio.
WZPL's Stephen Mell and the Morning Music Crew show ended just a year after it began. And during that time, the duo did something pretty remarkable. They took their show from 8th or 9th in the market all the way to number 2.
Right behind Bob and Tom, nipping at the heels, because it was just counter-programming.
Counter-programming Stephen Stiles sought for years.
I really, really wanted to get a female co-host because strong females were just starting to appear in the radio dial.
Stiles found that strong female voice in Melody Owen, who first appeared on the broadcast during news updates.
He kept interrupting my newscast.
That's
I'd be reading.
It was a top 40 radio station.
You know, it was so rude, so rude. What? I was in the middle of reading a story and he'd interrupt and he'd go, "What?"
It was obvious from the minute Melody opened her mouth that she was a co-host.
Melody left the newsroom and joined Steve in the booth as the show's co-host, but it was hardly love at first sight.
This is part of the story that nobody knows.
Melody says she was told Steve was gay because his roommate was also gay.
I didn't know, okay? So I just thought he was.
But a confrontation changed everything.
And he started yelling at me and he said, "You know, you just think you can walk down the hall like that in that dress and walk like that and everybody's just going to fall over and you're not even my type."
Melody says a coworker witnessed the exchange and chimed in, telling Melody this.
"Mel, I think he likes you." I'm like, "Well, that's ridiculous, Jeff, because Steve is gay." And he goes, "What?" And I said, "Steve's gay." And he goes, "Oh my God." And then he starts laughing hysterically and goes, "Why do you think that?" Right. And I'm like, "Well, that's what everybody told me." And he's like, oh no. Oh my. Oh, Mel. No.
And with that out of the way,
it got tight pretty quick.
We started going to all the events together.
You become a team, and then you do have to, your sleep schedules are different than human sleep schedules.
Yes.
Things were clicking on and off the air, but not everyone was happy.
We knew that there was so much friction inside that things were coming to a head. We knew where we were. We weren't sure where some of the powers that be were at the station were.
The couple says some station managers weren't thrilled about having a woman with such a prominent role in the show.
To have that sort of strong feminine voice in a studio, and I let her. I did everything I could as a host, co-host, to say, we're equal pieces.
And on July 13th, 1988.
I think you should marry me. I think that's, I think we should get married. I really do.
Oh, I'm not. Are you serious here?
I am
Steve,
serious.
we're on the air.
Well, I understand that.
Stephen.
Yes, ma'am.
I would be honored to marry you. Yeah.
It was brilliant. It was genius radio. It really was.
That should have been a good thing.
But station management didn't want the publicity and parted ways with the couple.
It just exploded in their faces.
Local listeners and even other celebrities were in disbelief.
Of course, Bob and Tom didn't believe it. We didn't believe it.
But seeing is believing.
We were the first couple to ever get married at Park Tudor High School.
Happily married Steve and Mel now call Southern California home. They know their exit from the radio industry is now the stuff of legends.
You can't top that, all right?
And then why do you blow it up?
Nobody's that stupid. And I wanted to go,
Yes, they are.
Yes, they are.
Gays and lesbians say they're making history by celebrating their homosexuality, and they look forward to the day of acceptance.
We're a minority, and we need to stand up, and we have rights, we have love, just like anybody else, and people want to put us down for it, and they don't understand it till they walk in our shoes.
It was a time when roughly a dozen gay bars and clubs in Indianapolis provided a sanctuary and a sense of community.
My name is Derek Teriak. I'm the co-owner of Greg's. It would always be jam-packed, the music was so loud, and it was just so much energy.
The place opened in 1980 on 16th Street. Before it became Greg's, it was known as Our Place, OP's for short.
It was just a place for the gay community. It was just everything you want it to be.
A place needed in a time when people were attacked for being gay.
If somebody goes up and says, hey, queer, and then hits them, they're going to get a stiffer penalty. Now, there's something wrong with that kind of legislation. Those people choose that lifestyle. They can keep it to themselves. They don't need to be promoting it to the public.
You didn't want to be known. You could lose your job like that, or family would be disowned. We wanted our identity kept secret. It was very difficult.
But even in these safe spaces, there was danger. OP's was one of several places from where investigators say Herbert Baumeister lured his victims.
According to police investigators, Herbert Baumeister led a double life, but his secret life began to emerge from a growing list of missing men.
He went with two friends, and they were together until Manuel left. And that was around midnight, the last time they seen him.
You never think it's gonna happen to your family. You know, I know I didn't.
He just asked me if I could just take him home.
He said, hey man, I can't go back to juvenile. I can't go back there.
When it first happened, people didn't believe it. They didn't think it was possible.
This police video made it look easy for a man of Taylor's size to shoot himself while handcuffed.
For a man to commit suicide, he had a pretty good smile on his face.
Oh, hell no. Would you be suicidal about boys' school? It ain't exactly the Hard Rock.
You believe he was killed by police?
Yes, I do.
I joined the investigators in their finding that the fatal wound suffered by Michael Taylor was self-inflicted, be it accidental or deliberate.
They gonna kill us all, the black boys, all they can. It's a conspiracy, y'all know it, I know it. They killed that boy, that's the bottom line.
We want truth and justice!
We did not know it at the time in 1987, but we were in the early stages of the Black Lives Matter movement.
We gotta get some answers, and we gotta get them soon.
People in Indianapolis said at that time, loud and clear, that Michael Taylor's life mattered. It was a 9-year war from 1987 to 1996. battling to see if he could have some accountability for his life and death.
We may never fully exactly understand what happened, and I just think it's best to close this chapter in our history out and move on.
When is it over? When will the parents stop grieving? Will the mother ever forget her son? I doubt it.
Kid and computer getting to know each other 2 hours a week in a storefront office building on 46th Street.
In 1981, former WRTV reporter Derek Thomas featured a small business on the corner of 46th Street and College Avenue called Computer Kids.
We're in front of what used to be Computer Kids on that second door there.
Recently, WRTV tracked down the owner, Milton Allen, who was just 31 years old at the time of Derek's story.
Back then, there was no color, there was no sound, there was no graphics.
He taught students ages 8 to 14 basic typing and programming skills at Computer Kids for 5 years.
It was a big deal because it was new, very new. I mean, secretaries are afraid they were going to lose their job. Teachers were afraid that these devices were going to take over. And there were all kinds of challenges at that point. But kids were really interested. And here in the inner city, for something to appear like this was very different.
Allen says he often thinks about what his students are doing now.
Mr. Allen. Oh my, I know you.
Luke Moorhead and Josh Moorhead.
Oh, wow, I know both of you guys. How are you?
Doing great.
Brothers Luke and Josh Moorhead took classes at Computer Kids 40 years ago.
What are you guys doing nowadays? IHSAA, what?
Yep, that's what I'm doing. I'm the director of technology for the IHSAA.
Congratulations!
Luke went on to get a degree in electrical engineering and eventually started his own computer consulting business. Josh is now an engineer. Both credit Milton with inspiring them and teaching them basic skills they still benefit from today.
Some of the skill sets that he was developing with such a analytical and problem-solving foundation has been a tremendous asset to me.
What Milton meant to me was a mentor, an opportunity, which as a 11, 12-year-old at the time, you didn't really see that, but we respected him.
As for Milton, seeing his former student's success 40 years later is an emotional moment, and it's one he will never forget.
It brought tears to my eyes to see these guys. It's been 40 years, and here they come walking up, and they've got gray hair, like mine. So it was that I didn't expect this. This has made my year, month, several years.
Working for you, Nicole Griffin, WRTV.